What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We have a 30-minute episode of High School Stories, but I wanted to take a little bit of time in the start of this video to fill you guys in, explain a few things, and I think it'll make the video a more enjoyable experience. So the reason why I stopped uploading High School Stories, and I get this question so many times, and I just want to say it right here, is because I ran out of stories. I told all my stories pretty much, and if a new one pops in my head, like this video, I will tell it. And sometimes one story will unlock another thing, and then it'll unlock another thing, and then a traumatic experience, and then, you know, human minds work crazy. So I just went on a rant of 30 minutes of high school stories. Some might be repeats, some are new stories, and we're playing on my Minecraft server, bapcraft.com Battle Royale, the exclusive game type. We got some awesome gameplay, and it is double coin weekend. We're going to continue it to celebrate Minecraft Mondays today, and at midnight we're going to cancel it. So enjoy the high school stories. Leave a like if you are a fan of high school stories. I know a lot of you guys really like the series, and yeah, so bye. Enjoy the video. Play on bapcraft.com if you like Minecraft. The beard updated a little bit. You like it? It's a little less homeless. Bye, but what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your host with the most, Whiteboy7thst, with an episode of High School Stories. If you're not familiar with High School Stories, it's a very popular series of mine, one of my fan favorites next to my dolphin dives, that I did about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. And in those videos, I had some awesome gameplay, and I told good old stories from my glory days of high school and just growing up in general on 7th Street, and just telling stories about my life, and people really enjoyed them. And if you're not familiar with this series and your mind's blown that you haven't watched any of these videos, I will include the full playlist of all those videos, and you can look at least a few. I think I have about 40 or so, and I have another one today, so I'll give you a little sample of a high school story, and if you're interested in more, you can check them out. So these come to me randomly. The reason why I stopped the series is because I couldn't think of any more stories. I told all my stories, and to be honest, I think I retold a few stories twice or 3 times, and I guess technically I could still do high school stories, but I feel like back in my day, okay, Grandpa, we heard this story about your goddamn sock collection 83 fucking times. All right? We need to put you in a home or something, get you some help. So I don't want to tell and retell the same story over and over and over. And I just came up with one just popped in my head. I don't believe I ever told this, I might have, but I want to tell a story about Suicide Hill, because this location in Milwaukee was one of the places I had the most fun as a kid. And if you think about being a kid, a lot of things entertained you, and things that were cool and that you really enjoyed, like things that you would just kind of, okay, like it's cool right now. As a kid, you went bonkers. This was the best thing in the world, and I loved doing this every single year in the winter. So Suicide Hill is a set of hills in Milwaukee by the domes, I think on 35th and Mitchell, I believe, if I'm still correct. It's weird that you keep knowledge like that. I haven't been in Milwaukee in a while, and I haven't lived there in a while, and I still remember that. But anyways, so it is a really steep series of hills, which my conspiracy theory mind is a little weary of the hills, because out of nowhere it goes like straight down. It is a crazy big hill, and I actually have video of the hill if you want to check it out. And you know, videos don't really do it justice. You got to be there, and especially as, you know, a 9, 10, 13-year-old looking at this massive hill, it's pretty freaking steep. And actually, just going down it on a sled, you go pretty freaking fast. So the video is the dolphin slide. I'm going to include it in the description as well if you want to check it out. I try to do a dolphin dive and slide all the way down the hill. We bought like 300 feet of plastic and like vegetable oil, and it was a lot of fun. We had a whole bunch of people out from 7th Street there. We bought some Gatorade and some snacks. That was cool. But we went to the hill with all this vegetable oil. I have a dolphin costume, like a dolphin mascot costume on. People are like coming in from all over, like, what is this? And I actually tweeted out that I was doing a little fan meetup. We had a few fans out there. I think my sister came out too. There's a lot of people there for this, and we totally failed with the dolphin dive. We didn't like properly nail down the plastic, so the plastic was coming down as we were sliding down, and I wasn't properly prepared for this massive undertaking. 300 feet of plastic, about 69 gallons of vegetable oil, and it failed. But it was cool going to the store. Like, we went to Home Depot, like a few of us, maybe like 4 7th Street friends, and we're just talking to the guy about doing this dolphin dive and like what he recommends. He was like, you can do oil, but that's not going to be friendly for the environment, and I agreed, so I went the organic route. And he was just a cool guy. I think I gave him a business card or something to check out my YouTube channel, and I hope maybe he's watching this. Hey, dude, it's been a long time. And then I saw him a few months later, and it was awkward. He was like, how did that work out? I was like, not so good. So if you want to see the fail, you can. At the end, like, we had police stop by. It was crazy. And then we actually only used 200 feet of the plastic. So the hill was actually, like, there's a measurement of the hill. It's about 200 feet of maybe a little less, but it's very steep. It's like a burst of adrenaline. So we take all this plastic and we throw it in like one little garbage can. It all fits somehow, but it felt a little sketchy. Well, it didn't. Okay, it didn't really fit. Now that I'll admit this to the park people. I apologize. There's a lot of plastic in that one garbage bin, and there's a little overflowage. We tried our best. I stomped on it. I jumped in the garbage can to try to, like, you ever do that? You compact your garbage. You're lazy. You're like, oh, I don't want to take this garbage out. Maybe get some garbage juice on my hands. I'm just gonna step down on it. I'll put like a few paper, like a newspaper on top, then step down on it. And then, hey, we got 2 more feet of garbage. You just got to compact that bitch down. That's smart living, ladies and gentlemen. So I have a lot of stories about this hill. That was just a more recent one. Let's tell you my first experience with Suicide Hill. I was a 3rd grader, and where I grew up, the reason why my name is White Boy is because my friends didn't know my name, and I was the only white kid around when we first started hanging out. So logically, they just called me White Boy. I answered, it stuck, and 7th Street is just the street I grew up on. So the first experience with this hill is I was playing soccer for my elementary school in about 3rd grade. And I was a kind of athletic kid always growing up, and I'm still a gold medal champion game and athlete to this day. And I think I'm still at this level of athleticism because I grew up a pure thoroughbred athlete. My mom had a record. I don't know. I have my mom's diary, and I don't want to read it. I don't know. That's kind of, it would be kind of weird to read it. It might be actually kind of cool. But I want to go back and see if she wrote about this day, because she always told this story about her doing a lot of, like, she had a record for like 2,000 sit-ups in one setting. Like, she just wouldn't stop, and she just kept on doing sit-ups and like went to some extreme level and had this record at South Pulaski High School or something. I don't know, South Division High School for like maybe 20 years or something. And she said like the next day she was like broken and she couldn't walk, but I don't know. She always told me this story, like she just like wouldn't stop doing sit-ups and went into some crazy mode where she just like kept on doing it because they had some competition. I don't know. So anyways, I played soccer for my, I'm going on rants here. This is just like, this one story is bringing out, like this one memory is bringing out a whole bunch of good memories about this hill. Because like I said, I had a lot of fun. And I'm just going on rants and tangents, so I'm going to tell you a bunch of little stories. So, and I'm going to go, you know, I'm going all over the place, so bear with me. Sit down, strap in your seatbelt. It's got to get funky. It's got to get a little weird here. So anyways, I
I was playing soccer for my elementary school in 3rd grade, and there at Suicide Hill is a soccer field, and they have a few baseball fields at the bottom of the hill, and the soccer field is on the top of the hill. So I was playing a game there. Our team was playing a game there, and for some reason I wanted to run up this huge hill as a kid, and that was not a good idea. I don't know why I ran up the hill. Maybe I had to go to the bottom of the hill to get something to drink, then run back up to the top. That's very inconvenient. I'm not sure exactly what it was. So I get out the game, I run down the hill, I run back up it, then I get back into the game, and I get the most awesome opportunity. I take a fast break. I'm in the midfield. I don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about football or soccer. But I was like right by the goal, and it was just me and the goalie, and I take a swing. I attempt to kick the ball, and I totally miss, and I collapse and fall to the ground because my leg just totally gave out. I never experienced this in my life, but I just tried to kick the ball, and it didn't work. Like, I had a cramp for the first time, and my leg just gave out. I actually experienced this in high school football. Hopefully I don't get like this weird medical condition. If a doctor is watching, please advise me. Actually, don't advise me because internet doctors aren't very good. If you go to WebMD and put in like a symptoms for like a sore nose or something, they'll give you like the worst case scenario. Like, you could have like type 2 diabetes, you could have AIDS, like just all the worst things in the world. Those are all potential illnesses that you have if you put in just a symptom. So don't ever do that. You get like paranoid. I got scared looking at WebMD. WebMD is the devil. Don't trust it. So anyways, I was doing high school football in my junior year, and I was practicing. We're at high school after school doing some practice, working out. And we were doing it was called up downs. We were doing a bunch of up downs, and then we had a race from the fence to back to the coach. So I don't know, I really wanted to win for some reason, and I was running really fast. And I was like 2nd place. I was not 1st place because we had some fast fucks, but I was like 2nd or 3rd place, and I was racing my friend, and I was going next to him. We were rushing. We were going. And, like, I was, like, 10 yards away from the coach. And I was, like, in the lead. And then my freaking leg gives out again. And I trip. And I do, like, a perfect. I dive over. And I, like, do a little flip. I land on my back with we had the pads on. We were practicing with the pads on. And it just, like, I bounced off. And I stood back up right away. And the coach just laughed at me. And that's why I wasn't on varsity. I was only on junior varsity, probably because of that moment. So anyways, getting back to the hill. So I was embarrassed. I missed that soccer shot, and the coach immediately takes me out the game, and I don't think I got back in. So that was my first experience with it. Going on, let's talk about the domes. The location where it is really awesome. So they have 3 domed environments. And I don't know if it's still running, but it was so freaking cool. They have 3 different biomes, like if you talk about Minecraft, like a different biome, enclosed with glass, completely separated from the outside environment. And they're about, I don't know, 100 feet, 200 feet within, easy walking distance in between each of them. And each different one has like a completely different environment, whole bunch of different flowers. I think different animals, little waterfalls, and it's pretty cool. And my mom really liked planting flowers, and she was a gardenist for the zoo, and she did a lot of city work too, like at the park system. And our backyard was freaking awesome. I have some vlogs on Whiteboy7thst too of our backyard. I think it was a really awesome yard. We had like a lion. Like, she worked at the zoo, and they were throwing away this like wired lion that you could like stuff dirt into and plant flowers into because it was a little bent. And my mom took that and she fixed it, and then like she put like really long grass by the mane of the lion, and she put like yellow, flowers everywhere and like some blue eyes. It was very cool, and she really liked gardening, and I could probably use her help in my backyard. I'm not doing the best job. I tried to plant some flowers, and I don't know, they worked out, but like half of them worked out and the other half didn't work out so good. So anyways, getting back to Suicide Hill, me and my mom would go to the biomes, which are, located like a block away from Suicide Hill. And the biome was really cool. It was really awesome. Like, it just smells good, and it's just really relaxing. And then let's go to winter. Winter was the best at Suicide Hill because sledding. We had free sledding in the city. It was kind of sketchy. It was a little dangerous, and the hills were so steep and slippery. Trying to walk up them after going down was very, very difficult. And I didn't have the best shoes. I wasn't the most fortunate kid growing up, so I had some like sketchy boots that were like very slippery at the bottom. I think some years I went in like skateboard shoes, and you would get so drenched. And if you try to walk on ice with skateboard shoes, it's a nightmare. It is very brutal. And I mean, if you're a skateboarder, you have balance, so you could compromise that. But the posers with skateboard shoes, they fall. I'm just joking, but it is very slippery, and I think I have fell a few times. But just going up the hill was a struggle, and that made going down the hill that much better because it was like 200 feet. They had two different hills. One was a little longer, and then one was a little bit steeper. The one that I did the dolphin slide down, I think, was the longer one. So it was just fun. It was really fun just sliding down. I remember going in like 5th or 4th grade because I was still friends with this kid, and he ended up freaking stealing my goddamn Pokemon cards. And after I sold a few Pokemon cards, he took the freaking $10 from me. Dick. Anyways, I can't regret that, man. I still remember that. I don't know. I can't let that go. I had a freaking Charizard, dude. I had a freaking Charizard in 4th grade, man. I was the king. I was the king of the classroom with that. Anyways, so me, him, his dad, and I think his sister go to Suicide Hill to go sledding. Actually, now thinking back about it, a traumatic experience. That sister, she raped me as a kid, kind of. She grabbed my dick, and she like wouldn't let go for a little bit, but I wasn't complaining, but she grabbed it unwantedly, and I think I was held down. I can't remember the situation, but I do remember that happening, and that was a experience I had as a kid. But I don't know if I should have shared that. Who cares? It's high school story time. This is a little bit before high school, but we would go down and we would slide. We were sledding, and the news is there because there's a lot of people there. It's a really popular spot to go sledding in the city. A lot of people went there, and the news was reporting, and somehow his dad got on the news, and it was like a big deal. It was kind of cool. Like we watched it after we got home, and like the lady confirmed, like, yeah, it'll be on the news. Check like 4:30, 4:45, and we went and we saw it, and they were recording a ramp that we built at the bottom of the hill, or it was already built there. I think we contributed to try to make it bigger, and they were recording that ramp. So I was trying so hard to get onto the news. I really, really wanted to get on the news. So I was running down on my little shitty plastic $4 sled as fast as I can, as aerodynamic as I can. I was trying to hit this ramp at maximum speed, and I was launching off of that. I was killing it, man. I mean, it might have been a few feet, but I felt like I was flying. I believe I can fly. So I was killing it. I must have hit this ramp like 10 times. I was getting brain damage, a little injuries. I was hurt at the end. I was so sore, and they did not put me on the news. I was so mad. I did get on the news as a kid with my mom. We were by the lake, and the news was doing like a montage of singing some song, and we had like 15 seconds of the 2-minute song, and the other people only had like 5 seconds, so that was pretty cool. But anyways, Maybe it just felt like a long time because I was like, oh my god, that's me, that's me, that's me. And I was on there like 3 separate times. So I notice I say anyways a lot because I go on a lot of tangents. So I don't end up getting on the news. Another devastating moment in my life that I think really helped build me up to the man that I am today. Because I was determined to somehow, somewhere get on the news. And ladies and gentlemen, I will be proud to announce that somewhere in Europe, I think it was the BBC, they put a clip of me raging on Flappy Bird. Maybe it was the radio, I'm not sure, but a lot of people tweeted me. That was pretty cool. But anyways, I think over the next few years, I traveled Milwaukee, across it every winter to find a hill, but nothing satisfied me as Suicide Hill did. So fast forward a few years, actually this just popped into my head. The favorite thing about Suicide Hill is afterwards we had a van packed of like, I don't know, 6 people, all our sleds in the back, and it was you know, we're soaking wet, we're exhausted, and at the end of the day we would go to McDonald's and get like $1 hot fudge, and that was awesome, and like some hot cocoa or something. It was very satisfying after a long day of hardcore sledding. So fast forward a few years through me searching Milwaukee for a better hill. I'm about 14, 15. I have a snowboard for Christmas I got, and I want to test it out on Suicide Hill. So we go, and it's very scary. It was so scary. I was standing on top of the hill, just looking down. I'm like, oh, on a snowboard? I don't know how to snowboard. I never snowboarded before. I tried on the sleds. Like, we would try to, we would jump on the sleds, not sitting down, but standing up. And the sleds were just like a piece of plastic that were, I don't know, 2 feet wide, maybe 4 feet long. So it was kind of the shape of a snowboard, but not really, you know, just like a person could sit in. But anyways, we would do that, and it was kind of fun. And sometimes we could do it. We would bust our junk a lot, but we attempted to. You know, one thing I hate about my freaking park that was right by my house, the hill sucked. It was the worst hill in the world. And at the end of it was like a sidewalk. So we tried to like make a ramp so we would ramp over the sidewalk. Sometimes we would land on the sidewalk because the freaking hill was so adrenaline filling. It was so weak, and we would not gather speed. So anyways, I'm snowboarding. I got my snowboard. I want to test it out for the first time. And what I do is I sit down on it. And you know, you have your 2 foot strap places on the snowboard, so you could fit like 2 people on it. And to test it out, I sat in between the straps, and I was like, I went faster than any sled I have ever sat on before. The polyester or whatever plastic coating is on the bottom of this snowboard makes it go really fast. So that made me even more scared to go down the hill. So I do that a few more times on my butt, sitting down on the snowboard, because it was actually a lot of fun, and it was really fast. And I try for like 40 minutes to get the straps on. I don't know if I was scared and I couldn't do it, or I was so cold, my fingers, I didn't want to take them out the gloves and expose them to the raw elements. But I was struggling putting the straps on my feet. I had one on, but I didn't have both of them on. So I ended up going down with just one strap on. I rage quit. I was like, I cannot figure out this freaking system that they got going on. And I went down it, and I believe it went smoothly. It was a lot of fun. I think I fell back, like I bailed, but it was like a conscious bail. Like I was like, okay, I'm happy with this, and I don't want to keep going. So I just like went to my butt, and that was, I think I got some snow in my ass, but that was all right. It was sketchy going down this hill because at the bottom there was like a natural little ramp all the time at like maybe half of the hill, and like I said, there was a baseball field at the bottom, or 2 baseball fields at the bottom of the hill. So there was like light poles, and there's a big fence that if you're going really fast, you could hit the fence. But I think one year somebody hit one of the poles and the ambulance came and got him. Actually, on my plane, I went to Baltimore, going to Bethesda Studios. I had some pictures on my Twitter if anyone's interested. But I went there, and coming back, when we landed in Chicago, the ambulance was waiting on the runway, and they got somebody out of our plane. That she was sitting right behind me, and the paramedics came into the plane before anyone could get up, and she got rushed out. And I was listening to music the whole time. I didn't hear any commotion. I think I stood up, and she got a glimpse of my hair and massive beard, and she was overwhelmed. So, getting back to Suicide Hill, I have my snowboard now. I'm a little bit more confident. I've been practicing over the winter, and there is a huge ramp in the forest. So there's a really sketchy path that I think some hardcore people would go down. So it was like through a forest. There was a bunch of trees, and there's like 4 different paths that like interweaved in between each other, and it was really sketchy. But at the bottom of one of the paths, there was a 3-foot perfect ramp one year. I don't know where it came from, but it was absolutely perfect. So there was a little, there were still trees on the side leading down, but you could start at one area where it was pretty much a straightforward path to hitting the ramp. So my first time going down, I go down on a sled just to try it out. It was pretty fun, but I felt like the snowboard would get me a lot more air. So, I like to test it out. I don't know. I'm not just going to YOLO it. I'm going to look twice, jump once. Or I don't know if that's a saying, but look before you leap, I think is try it before you buy it. I don't know. So then I am like, okay, let's do the snowboard. So I go to the snowboard. It's a straight path. And I'm like dropping in or whatever. I'm hitting the hill, and I go like straight to the right and hit a tree. It's nothing major. It's a lot of little trees. There's some big trees, but it's a lot of little 1 to 5 inch diameter trees, whatever. So I'm like, okay, let's reset this. So I get back up to the top, and what I do is I have 1 foot strapped in and 1 foot strapped out. So I push a little bit, and I put my foot in the binding as best as I could, and I hit this jump, and I got so much air. I wish I was recording. I felt like I was flying. I felt the drop, like the gravity, like losing, like that drop in your stomach. I felt it, and it was so fun. My friend said I got like 3 feet of air, and I tried to jump over somebody the next time, and I think I landed on them a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. I think they had a sled protecting them. They were using a sled as cover. But yeah, that was pretty cool, and it was very difficult for me to turn on a snowboard. We actually went snowboarding with my 7th Street friends and Kelly last year or the year before that, and that was really cool. We went to like a little bit above Madison, and at a ski resort, and I was so much better snowboarding as an adult as I was as a kid. So the last story I have about Suicide Hill, and if you are watching this video 27 minutes into a high school story marathon, be sure to like this video. I'm telling several stories. I could have probably made 8 different videos about this, but one extravagant high school story. 2,000 videos are coming up soon, and I thought I could do a high school story for good old times, and I remembered it, so it was perfect timing. So please like the video if you're still watching. I hope this 28 minutes of stories entertained you, and if you're new to high school stories, be sure to check out the playlist down below if you want some more. So yeah, like the video, and let's get back to the final story. So one year we go, and usually we would go with my godmother, and she would be the chaperone for all of us, and she would drive and stuff. But this year we went with one of the older 7th Street brothers, and he was driving, and we had a few of his friends, and it was like an older group of kids going down, going there, and it was cool because we had the van. We went sledding for a little bit, but the most fun part of the night was at like we were sledding like pretty long, and like till the night, and then at night we had like this open parking lot, you know, drifting around, driving crazy with everybody in the van. You know, that's always fun. We were like swerving down the street, just, you know, having a blast. And like we would beep at random people on the side of the street and like flash our lights, just messing with them, being, you know, just kids. And that was a good time back in the day. So yeah, it's been a pretty brutal winter this year. I have not went sledding. I have not went snowboarding. Maybe it's not too late, is it? It's never too late. I mean, especially not this winter. This winter is brutal. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this 30-minute episode. You guys are so hardcore and so dedicated. I love you guys. Honestly, you're the reason why I keep making videos. And it means a lot to me that I have people who would watch and listen to 30 minutes of me just talking about my life, and it's a very cool thing to have people have your back no matter what. And I appreciate all the support that you guys show me over the years and over almost 2,000 videos here. I can't thank you guys enough. I appreciate you greatly. I hope you have a great day. Do something epic today in honor of me, or do whatever you want. I don't care.